Welcome to the OMFL Jacksonville Jaguars review, the recap show I do for the OMFL Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm Mike Fleury, and in this episode we will be going through weeks 8 and 9, setting up for next episode where we recap the entire first half. We're going to jump right into it. There's a little spoiler on the screen right now. We are currently 7-2 in the middle of a 6-game win streak. Another spoiler upcoming is the team schedule because I cannot avoid it and I'm not going to edit it out. So last week, week 8, we played the Green Bay Packers, who were, I believe, 6-1 at the time. Priest is having a fantastic season, but 7 turnovers really did damage to any chance he might have had to win this game. The game started kind of a defensive slugfest. No team scored in the first quarter. But 10 points in the second and 9 in the third helped us pull away, on top of those 7 turnovers, of course. Offensively, we're going to start with Trevor Lawrence. Threw for only 123 yards on 10 of 15 passing, touchdown and an interception. Wasn't a great game for him, but he was efficient enough. Speaking of not a great game for one of our star players, Travis Etienne Jr., 15 carries, 71 yards, no scores. He has been, unfortunately, unable to get many carries, as you'll see in next game's recap, mostly due to score effects, where we've been leading by so much that when we run the ball out, it makes more sense to give it to the backup a little bit more. In this case, it was mostly just a form of not having the ball more in this game. If we're going to look at our box score, we're going to go to time of possession. I have a feeling, you know what? It was actually kind of even. I was not expecting that, given the turnovers and the low amount of plays. When you look at Rex Manning Jr., he had 38 passing attempts on top of 17 rushes. So Green Bay seemed to have the ball more, but yes. Anyways, so as you see, Lawrence and Etienne, Colin Fredrickson, 6 receptions, 114 yards. Really the only one to do much other than John Lovett, the fullback, who scored a touchdown on a 4-yard catch and fall forward. Either way, that was the only passing touchdown of the game, and one of the few offensive touchdowns. You see, Colin Fredrickson had a rushing touchdown on a jet sweep. Defensively, as the defense has really come alive in the last couple weeks, Trayvon Walker added another sack to his total, 2 tackles for loss. But more importantly, we had Darnell Savage add 2 interceptions to his total. He has been incredible for us this season. Terrell Edmonds had 2 in this one, and you'll see a little spoiler alert for next game. He had 2 in the next one as well. Devin Lloyd had 1 in this one, and again, with the spoilers, he will have 1 in the next one. And Marshawn Lattimore continued his incredible streak. This was his 7th interception in 3 games for us. This win brought us to 6-2 before moving on to tonight's matchup, which I finished 2-3 hours ago against the Eagles. They've not been having a very good season trying to figure out this game and their roster. It hurt even more, pun not intended, that Jalen Hurts was injured for this game. So as you see, they only had 44 passing yards right there. 44 passing yards in the game, 180 total, and 6 turnovers. We're going to start with Philly, actually, really quick. Started Kenny Pickett, who went 8 of 17 and had 6 interceptions. 56 yards passing. It was a tough game for Twinkie. Just couldn't figure out how to get Kenny Pickett into any kind of rhythm. Not having Jalen Hurts, who's a superstar quarterback, a franchise quarterback in this game, really hurt his ability to put up any kind of offense. Where he did not have a problem was his defense, which was really strong for the first part of the game anyways. Despite what the score will tell you, it was a close game starting off. We were down 10-7. We had 2 interceptions to start the game. He intercepted a pass and forced a fumble to take the lead, but late in the second quarter, we managed to start putting up points, leading to the score you see here. Trevor Lawrence, 15 of 17 for 283 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. That interception coming in the first quarter, one of his first passing plays, might have been his first passing play, and went 15 of 16 afterwards with the 4 touchdowns. He had a really good game for us. Rushing, as I explained earlier, you'll see that Leonard Fournette and Tank Bigsby had 13 carries because the score got a little out of hand, so we were trying to keep ETN from getting dinged up. He only had 56 yards in this game, unfortunately. Fournette had 55 of his own. No rushing touchdowns for any of our players. But here we go with the receivers. Colin Fredrickson continued his amazing season. 6 receptions, 196 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ingram got in on it with 43 on 3 catches for a touchdown. Travis Etienne caught a pass out of the backfield, 1 yard, 1 reception, 1 touchdown. And finally, we managed to get a little bit of Brian Thomas Jr. into the offense. 5 receptions, 43 yards. We're trying, hopefully, to get him more touches. We're also hoping to get Gabe Davis some more touches, as I don't think Christian Kirk is long for this team, especially with Platinum Awards having a cut. And we can't look at his contract, but it's somewhere over $10 million each of the next 2 seasons for a 28-year-old receiver. Also, I'm hovering over Travis Etienne. I meant Christian Kirk, obviously. So we're trying to figure some other things out in this middle part of the season so that later when we start having our divisional matchups against Kobe, who's on a bit of a streak, and Pancakes and Roger, Tennessee, Indianapolis, and Houston, respectively. Hopefully we will have our offense completely figured out, including his role in it, and we will be able to take the division. Defensively, as you saw, we had a really solid game. Brian Larson, sack along with Eric Armstead. Those are 2 defensive tackles. A bunch of tackles for losses by, 3 linebackers and the 2 defensive tackles. Interceptions, as I mentioned, Edmonds had 2. Lattimore had 2 more, making it 9 in 4 games. It's just absolutely incredible. And then 2 from our linebackers, Lloyd and Aluakun, who is just a favorite of mine as an Atlanta Falcons fan. I'm really glad to have him. This game, of course, brought us to 6 wins in a row. It's a bit of a streak, but we still have tough games coming up. We have the Vikings in Week 10, the Lions in 12. We got a bye week, thank God. And then the end of the season. As you see here, we have 4 divisional matchups left. 1 against the Texans, 2 against the Titans. We got our last game of the season against the Colts. Speaking strategically, at 7-2, if we can go in 8-3, so at least one win between the Vikings and Lions. 8-3 should give us roughly a 4-game cushion, maybe 3 going into this final stretch. The Jets are, I actually don't know how the Jets are and Raiders are doing. This is getting near the end of the show, so I'm just going to look it up. The Raiders, over 500, have played pretty decent. Beat the Chiefs, who I believe are struggling. Beat the Rams, who are playing well considering that they're the Rams. Beat the Steelers, who are having a little bit of struggle. Lost to the Broncos. He lost to the Rams. My bad. Lost to the Broncos and the Browns. Those are 2 good teams. Can't fault there. Panthers, Ravens, Chargers. So he's having a really good year. And what was the other one I'm looking for? That was the Raiders. And who was I looking for? Jets. Oh, Jesus. Jets have been having kind of a struggle this year. Lost games to who hasn't lost games to the Niners? The Patriots early on, who are on a bit of a slump themselves. The Broncos, aforementioned, really good team. The Vikings, who are kind of in the middle right now, but they seem like they might be figuring it out. This game wasn't played, so you can't really deduce anything from it. Then lost to Penguins and the Steelers, and then beat the Patriots so they've split the season series against the Patriots. So we'll see how they do against the Colts and Texans coming up. Colts and Texans. Anyways, that just about wraps us up for this episode. Next episode, as I said, we will be going through the regular season to date, looking at our rankings in the standings and all the statistics. So for the OMFL Jaguars, I am Mike Fleury, and as always, we'll add outros to the list of things I need to work on for next time.